Welcome back to The Clean Truth by Roobi.
It is so good to be back. Ready to get into this one?
I am too. This is our 13th deep dive, and the title is Low Effort, High Impact, the Easiest Eco Swaps for a Cleaner Home. And honestly, just looking at the research we've got here today, this feels like a conversation a lot of us really need.
I agree completely. I think there's this myth out there around sustainability
Right.
that if you want to have an eco-friendly home, you have to do this massive, painful overhaul of your entire life.
Oh, absolutely. We have this caricature in our heads, don't we?
Totally.
You're like churning your own butter, weaving your own clothes from hemp you grew in the backyard.
Living in a yurt or something, it feels like a full-time job.
It's overwhelming. But today we're going to debunk that because the core message we're unpacking is that it doesn't have to be hard.
That's it. In fact, a lot of the data suggests that the biggest impacts often come from the absolute simplest swaps.
And that's what we're focusing on. We're looking at some amazing sustainable living guides, especially this really comprehensive one on 40 eco-friendly switches.
Yeah, and what stands out right away is how these small, low-effort changes, especially in your daily cleaning and household routines, can just slash your waste and chemical exposure.
And it doesn't require a lifestyle revolution.
Not at all.
What I love is that it's also practical. We're talking about easy changes you can make right away.
Yeah.
Just swapping out a single-use product here and there.
It's not about doing more work. It's about doing smarter work.
Which really fits with Ruby's whole philosophy, doesn't it?
It really does, making clean habits easier, more intentional, and just better. For us and for the planet.
Exactly. So let's explore the easiest eco swaps that can make your home cleaner with less effort and more impact.
All right, where do we start?
Well, I think before we get into the what, we have to talk about the why. There's a quote from our source material that really, it just frames the whole thing perfectly. It's a bit of a reality check. It says, "There is no such thing as a way when talking about waste."
Oof. Yeah. That stops you in your tracks.
It really does.
Because we say it all the time, right? I'm throwing this away. We type the bag, a truck comes, and poof, it vanishes from our lives.
But it doesn't vanish from the planet.
No, it goes somewhere. A landfill, the ocean, it leaches into the soil. We've been sort of tricked by this convenience culture into thinking everything is disposable.
And that's where this whole low effort, high impact thing really clicks for me. Because when you stop buying disposable stuff, it's not just some abstract good deed.
Right.
You literally notice you're not taking out the trash as much. You're not dragging that heavy bin to the curb every single week.
Exactly. And let's not forget the money side of it. I know that's a barrier for a lot of people. The source makes a great point that, yeah, some swaps have a small upfront cost, but you save so much money in the long run.
Because you're just not rebuying the same things over and over again just to throw them out.
You're getting off the treadmill.
So if we want to stop that flow of trash and, save a little cash, where's the best place to start? What's the scene of the crime in most houses?
The kitchen. Hands down. The source calls it the heart of sustainable living.
That makes sense.
It's where our most wasteful habits live, all the packaging, the food waste, the disposables, but it's also where the change is easiest.
Okay, let's talk food storage.
Yeah.
This is my personal nemesis. The plastic wrap, the baggies, the foil. It feels like a mountain of plastic every night.
It's the single-use trio, and it's probably the easiest habit to break because the alternatives are, well, they're just better products.
Okay, so let's start with cling wrap.
Be honest, does it ever actually stick to the bowl?
Never. It sticks to itself, it sticks to my hands, but yeah, never the bowl.
Exactly. So the swap here is beeswax wraps.
Right, I've seen these.
They're just cotton infused with beeswax and some oils. The warmth from your hands molds it around the bowl, and it creates a perfect seal as it cools.
And they smell kind of nice, too. A little honey-like.
They do. And they're breathable, so your food stays fresh longer. Then for baggies, you swap to silicone storage bags.
Instead of those Ziplocs you feel guilty washing because they never get dry in the corners.
Yeah, and they get that weird smell.
Yeah.
Yes. Silicone can go in the dishwasher, the freezer, the microwave. You buy them once.
Okay, what about for baking? I feel like I go through miles of foil or parchment paper just roasting vegetables because I hate scrubbing the pan.
That's a huge one. Mining aluminum is incredibly energy intensive. The swap is a reusable silicone baking mat.
Like the ones for macarons and stuff.
Exactly. Nothing sticks to them. You just wipe them clean. No more wadded up ball of metal in the landfill after one meal.
And leftovers. My Tupperware cabinet is, it's chaos. Mismatched lids, stained plastic.
It's a universal struggle. The advice here is to move towards glass or stainless steel containers.
Oh, I like those because you can take them right from the fridge to the oven.
You can. You can't do that with a flimsy plastic takeout container. Plus, you avoid that whole worry about BPA and other chemicals leaching into your food when you reheat it.
Right. You know when you microwave spaghetti in plastic and it gets that permanent orange stain?
Ugh. Yes, that's the plastic degrading. You don't want to be eating that.
Definitely not.
And for dry goods, rice, grains, nuts, it's mason jars. They seal tight, they're durable, and they just look way better on a shelf than a bunch of half-empty plastic bags.
It's like instant pantry organization.
It really is. The source also mentioned fabric bowl covers.
Like a little shower cap for your salad bowls.
Exactly. It's faster than fighting with plastic wrap, it works better, and it's zero waste.
Okay, so moving from storage to the actual tools, I was kind of surprised by how much waste comes from just our utensils.
It seems small until you add it all up, and there's hidden plastic everywhere. Here's one that gets a lot of people. Tea bags?
Hang on, tea bags, aren't they just,
Yeah.
paper and leaves? I throw mine in the compost.
Well, you might want to double check that. A lot of single-use tea bags actually contain polypropylene, plastic to seal them shut. Or the bag itself is a plastic mesh. So when you steep it in hot water, you're releasing billions of microplastics into your drink.
That is horrifying.
Yeah.
We're drinking a side of plastic with our Earl Grey.
Unfortunately, yeah. The swap is so simple, though. Just a stainless steel or silicone strainer with loose leaf tea.
And you get a better cup of tea anyway.
A much better cup of tea. It's an upgrade, not a sacrifice. Same thing goes for cooking tools, like those cheap plastic spatulas that always melt on the edge.
Ah, the jagged edge of a melted spatula. A kitchen classic.
Right. Well, that missing plastic went into your food. The swap is just wooden utensils or high-quality silicone.
The source also made a really interesting point about investment pieces, specifically knives. They even called out Wusthof.
Yeah, and that illustrates the principle of buy nice or buy twice, or in this case, buy 10 times.
Right.
You buy a cheap knife, it gets dull, the handle cracks, you replace it. You invest in one great chef's knife and take care of it, it can literally last you for decades.
Durability is sustainability.
That's the whole idea. Same with cutting boards. Swap the plastic ones that get all those deep grooves for a solid wooden one. It lasts longer and it's better for your knives.
Okay, so let's see this outside the kitchen. We have to buy all this food somewhere, and grocery shopping can feel like a plastic minefield.
It can be. And look, we all know about the reusable tote bag. That's Eco 101.
We've got that down.
But the source pushes us to go a step further. What about all those little thin plastic bags for your produce? The ones you can never open?
The ones that tear immediately. Yeah.
Those are a nightmare for recycling facilities. They jam the machines. The swap is just mesh produce bags. You keep them in your main totes, and you just skip the plastic film entirely.
And I guess that applies to the bulk aisle, too. Bring in your own jars.
Huge opportunity there. Pay for the product, not the packaging. Even simple stuff like reusing egg cartons at a farmer's market.
I love that. There was one tip in the shopping section that I thought was just brilliant. The discount rack hack.
Oh, this is such a good one. Shopping the discount produce rack. So this is the stuff that's maybe a little bruised or weirdly shaped.
The ugly ducklings of the grocery store.
Exactly, but they're perfectly good food. You save a ton of money and you are actively fighting food waste, which is a massive environmental problem. You're on a rescue mission.
A literal food rescue mission. I love it. Okay, let's move to cleaning. We've cooked, we've shopped, now we have to clean the mess. And the paper towel industry. It has a chokehold on us.
It really does. The swap here is what the source calls unpaper towels.
Which is a fancy way of saying rags.
Pretty much. You can buy specific ones that snap onto a roll, or you can just cut up old t-shirts. You wipe up a spill, you throw the cloth in the hamper instead of the trash. Simple.
And cloth napkins for dinner. The source said this feels like a fancy alternative, but it's really just cheaper.
Exactly. It elevates a Tuesday night dinner, and you stop buying bags of paper napkins.
Okay, laundry. Big energy user. What are the swaps?
Two main ones. First, ditch the dryer sheets. They're single-use and coated in chemicals. The swap is wool dryer balls.
Right, they look like little wool tennis balls.
And they are fantastic. They just bounce around, separate your clothes so air circulates better, and that cuts your drying time.
So it saves energy.
It saves energy, and it reduces static naturally. It's a double win.
Yeah.
The second swap is the detergent itself. We're all used to those giant, heavy plastic jugs.
Which are mostly water, right?
Yeah.
And so heavy to carry home.
Mostly water. And the carbon footprint of shipping all that water is huge. The source points to Earthbreeze as an example of an alternative. They make detergent sheets.
So it's like a little strip of paper.
It looks like one, yeah. It's just concentrated detergent that dissolves in the wash. No plastic jug, just a cardboard envelope. It takes up like zero space in your cabinet.
That's a no-brainer. What about for scrubbing? I feel like sponges get so gross so fast.
And most of them are plastic foam, so when they fall apart, that's just microplastics going down the drain. The swap is compostable scrubbers made from coconut fiber or cellulose.
And for the actual cleaning spray?
Just stop buying new plastic spray bottles. Use a glass one and buy concentrate refills. Or, and this is a fun one, make your own cleaner from orange peels and vinegar.
I bet that smells amazing.
It really does, and it's practically free.
Okay, let's head to the bathroom. This is another place where disposable is just the default setting.
Oh, absolutely. Personal care is ripe for swaps. Take shaving. We're used to buying a plastic handle and these super expensive plastic cartridges.
Or worse, those fully disposable plastic razors.
Terrible for the environment and honestly not great for your skin. The swap is a safety razor.
That sounds a little intimidating, I'm not gonna lie.
It can, but the source mentions modern ones like the Leaf Shave Razor. It has a pivoting head so it feels like the cartridge razor you're used to.
All right.
But you have a metal handle for life, and you just replace this tiny recyclable metal blade that costs pennies.
That makes so much sense. Same logic as swapping plastic toothbrushes for bamboo ones.
Exactly. It's just one little stick of plastic we can easily remove from our lives.
Now, we have to talk about the water waste connection, because the source brought up something I think is going to surprise a lot of people. Bidets.
This is such a fascinating, counterintuitive fact. Most people assume a bidet wastes water.
Well, yeah. I mean, it uses water to clean you.
It does, but using a bidet actually saves a ton of water.
Okay, wait. How does that math even work?
It's all about the manufacturing of toilet paper. To turn wood pulp into soft, white TP takes a massive amount of water. Gallons and gallons per roll.
The supply chain.
Exactly. The little bit of water a bidet uses is a tiny fraction of the water footprint of the toilet paper it replaces.
That is wild. I never would have thought of that.
And the source notes, if you're not ready for the bidet life, just swapping to bamboo toilet paper is a great middle step.
And the last one mentioned was menstrual cups.
Yeah, and this is a big one for both health and waste. Disposables create a lot of trash, but they can also contain chemicals and bleach. A menstrual cup is medical-grade silicone, it's reusable for years, and you avoid all that exposure.
Wow. So we've covered the kitchen, shopping, cleaning, the bathroom. When you list it all out like that,
Yeah.
it still sounds like a lot.
That's the danger. We don't want anyone listening to feel like they have to do all of this tomorrow. That's how you get burnout.
It's about the ripple effect, right?
Exactly what the source emphasizes. When you make one swap, you're not just reducing one piece of trash. You're changing your mindset. You're showing people who come to your house a different way of doing things.
It goes back to what we said at the very start. Low effort. This isn't about quitting your job to live off the grid.
It's a product switch, not a lifestyle overhaul.
So if you're listening right now, here's a challenge. Don't try to do all 40 things. Just pick one.
Just one.
Maybe it's the water filter pitcher instead of bottled water. Maybe it's finally getting that cast iron skillet. Maybe it's just remembering the mesh bags for your apples.
That one swap starts the momentum. And what usually happens is you realize how easy it was or how much money you're saving, and you naturally start looking for the next one.
It becomes a fun game. What else can I stop throwing away?
Exactly. And that's how real change happens. Not from one person doing zero waste perfectly, but by millions of us doing it imperfectly.
This has been such an eye-opening tour of our own homes. It really makes you look at your trash can differently.
It does. It makes you realize convenience is often just a marketing myth. True convenience is not having to constantly buy disposables.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. We started by saying there is no away. So ask yourself this. If there is no away, where has all your trash from the last 10 years actually gone?
That is a heavy question.
It is. But answering it might be the motivation we need to make that first swap.
Thanks for listening. This has been The Clean Truth by Roobi.
Goodbye, everyone.